There is a war. It's happening now. It will decide the fate of humanity. The time to choose sides has come. We are the resistance. We are the info war.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It's September 15th, 2014, and let's get straight into our news tonight. Obama admits ISIS beheading videos helped the White House agenda. And of course they did, because as you recall, it's just about a week or so ago, a representative of the Steve Sotloff family came out and said that the Obama administration is using these journalists as pawns. Of course, Steve Sotloff is one of the journalists you saw in the ISIS beheading videos. The article, "The Paths to War, Then and Now Haunt Obama," explains how the president noted that gruesome videos released by ISIS had helped galvanize public support for action. Obama's comments are attributed to 10 people who spoke with him with the days leading up to his speech Wednesday night, who quoted his private remarks to the New York Times' Peter Baker. Because as you recall, about a year or so ago, Obama wanted to have intervention in Syria, reciting the supposed attacks by Assad and his own people with chemical weapons, even though there's video evidence of the Syrian rebels carrying out at least one attack. So we have to go in because Assad's out here doing all these horrible things to his own people, completely ignoring the things going on to the people in this country, just like we saw with Ferguson, Missouri. Russia, China, all these other countries said, hey, you want to come over here and tell us how to do our business, learn how to do your own business at home. But getting back to Syria, the U.S. is not happy that China and Russia are teaming up. They have a pipeline that goes, in the Syria area. So, that's one of the big reasons why they want to go in there. And I'm not, pro-Assad, I'm not pro-Putin or whoever else. I'm just saying, we can't be Team America, world police, telling people how they should behave in their own countries. And Rand Paul went even further, saying that arming Syrian rebels will empower ISIS.
5 years ago, ISIS wasn't a threat, but I did say even as much as 2 or 3 years ago that it was a threat to give arms to them in Syria. So I think had the president had his way, or had Hillary Clinton had her way, we may well have had ISIS in charge in Damascus now, because they've been arming and creating a safe haven for them. As it is, I think ISIS is more of a threat to us now because of the arming of the Islamic rebels in Syria.
And what Paul is saying there is that ISIS is a much larger threat than they were 5 years ago. And a big part of this is that the U.S. continues to fund, to aid the al-Qaeda rebels in Syria, a practice that we definitely need to stop. But somebody who's in the practice of saving themselves, the U.S. State Department, they're ordering 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits. In a press release posted by MarketWatch, Lakeland Industries, a manufacturer of industrial protective clothing for first responders, announced that it had signaled its intention to join the fight against the spread of Ebola by encouraging other suppliers to meet the huge demand created by the U.S. State Department's order of 160,000 hazmat suits. So everybody says, we here at InfoWars, we're fear-mongering because we cite big scientists and other experts who look into these things, who study these things day and night. And they say, hey, we are concerned that this could have a widespread outlook, a widespread pandemic. Some people would decide to say 5 million people could be affected by this. I'm not saying that personally, but these are what the top experts and researchers had to say about this. And we'll go to break with what Alex Jones had to say about the issue. Stay tuned. This is the InfoWars Nightly News.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and broadcasting worldwide. Thank you so much for joining us on this September 15th, 2014 worldwide transmission. I am your host, Alex Jones. Obviously, the Ebola story is really starting to get huge and is incredibly important. They estimate more than 20,000 people, a very conservative number, have Ebola right now in Africa as it exponentially spreads across the continent. And we have this story by Paul Joseph Watson at Infowars.com that's top linked on DrudgeReport.com. U.S. State Department orders 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits. Paul Watson co-hosted the Sunday show last night. And I heard him breaking this down. He has the article out today. Bulk purchases prompts concerns about spread of deadly epidemic. Continuing, CDC issues Ebola checklist. Now is the time to prepare. That story is also on Drudge. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warned hospitals and doctors that now is the time to prepare has issued a 6-page Ebola checklist to help healthcare workers quickly determine if patients are infected. While the CDC does not believe there are any new cases of Ebola in the United States, the assumption is the checklist is that it is only a matter of time before the virus hits home. For example, one part reads, encouraging healthcare personnel to use a buddy system when caring for patients. Another recommends a process to report cases to top officials. And it goes on, the checklist has been distributed to major hospitals and even little ones, including Urgent Center in Leesburg, Virginia. And that dovetails again with our article directly from the FedBiz website that they have ordered the 160,000 Ebola hazmat suits for Ebola. Bulk purchase prompts concerns about spread of deadly epidemic. That's also being reported by Fox News. The U.S. State Department has ordered 160,000 hazmat suits for Ebola, prompting concerns that the federal government is anticipating the rapid spread of a virus that has already claimed an unprecedented number of lives. In a press release posted to MarketWatch, Lakeland Industries, a manufacturer of industry protective clothing for first responders, announced that it had signaled its intention to join the fight against the spread of Ebola by encouraging other suppliers to meet the huge demand created by the U.S. State Department ordering 160,000 hazmats. And they've put out other similar purchase orders, again, on the FedBiz Ops website. With the U.S. State Department alone putting out a bid for 160,000 suits, we encourage all protective apparel companies to increase their manufacturing capacity for sealed seam garments so that our industry can do its part in addressing this threat to global health. And it just goes on from there. I'll read more when we come back from break. But this is pretty frightening information. Friday, we covered the articles. In fact, will you guys re-pull those out of the stack? Where top virologist out of Germany, top World Health Organization virologist, and others are saying millions are infected. Millions more will be infected. And that they believe 5 million will die. I'm not saying any of that. A month ago, or more than a month ago, back on August 4th, we talked about public documents that governments have believed for 2 years that airborne is becoming somewhat airborne. Not extremely airborne, but can survive in the air long enough to be transmitted. And we know it's gestating longer, so that's why there's undoubtedly also carriers that are immune or resistant, but that the viral titer stays high in, according to the medical literature I've read.
Celebrate the spirit of freedom and liberty upon which our nation was founded at InfoWarsShop.com. Molon Lave is ancient Greek for come and take it. This popular design combines both classic Greek Spartan imagery with modern M16 assault rifles. Now available in women's tees and proudly made in the USA. Celebrate the spirit of 1776 with the George Washington brass belt buckle or this incredibly sharp-looking 1776 hat. Badass. And be sure to check out the new arrivals at InfoWars Life, where you can prepare your body to perform at peak levels with Survival Shield, Nascent Iodine, Super Male Vitality, and Fluoride Shield. And wake up, America. Immune Support Blend is the healthy choice for the gourmet coffee lover. So get incredibly high-quality, freedom-based products and help fund the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.